Hello, fellow YouTubers and viewers. I'm Stephen Bereznicki, and welcome back to another Fossil Fighters Top 10 list, which today will be my picks for the top 10 Vivosaur ideas for the neutral element. As players of Fossil Fighters know, the neutral element is a Vivosaur type that has no elemental disadvantage against the other Vivosaur elements discussed on this channel. On the other hand, they don't have any advantages when attacking other Vivosaurs either, regardless of their elemental matchups. The same can be said of the legendary element of the first two Fossil Fighters games, but I'll discuss that another time. As such, these are my picks for which Vivosaur should be of the neutral element. Alrighty, let's get started. Number 10. Guerrerosaurus. You know, when you think of Stegosaurus and related dinosaurs, you'd likely be thinking of their thagomizer tail spikes, or even their backplates. You'd be forgiven for initially thinking that Guerrerosaurus had the same kind of backplates as the usual Stegosaurids do, before you took your first look at it. Surprise, Guerrero had plates that were more like bricks along its back, making one question as to how it survived into the Cretaceous period unlike some other Stegosaurids, including Stego, from what we know anyway. Anyway, I imagine Guerrero having a moveset based around raising the attack stat as opposed to purely defense-oriented attacks. In fact, I think it should have a high attack stat in addition to a decent defense stat, at least relative to other Stegosaurs. Its moveset could be something concrete, and literally too, which could make it something like the sauropod Vivosaur Perso. And maybe having a set of steel beams as tail spikes. That would sure look like it's gonna hurt whenever one gets Guerrero mad. Sure, its low speed stat could offset it somewhat, but that's generally the nature of the Stegosaurs, right? Number 9. Scrat, also known as Cronopio. Hold it, you might initially think. There's no such creature as a Scrat. Well, actually there is, since around 2011, when paleontologist Guillermo Roger first named the finds Cronopio. In fact, Scrat is, at this time of writing, the second of a pair of creatures being a part of a phenomenon known as the dim effect, where a certain film creates a creature previously unknown to science, only for paleontologists to later discover such a creature, the first of which is Dim, the rhinoceros beetle from the Disney Pixar film A Bug's Life, who is also the phenomenon's namesake. Regarding the Cronopio, and to quote Dr. Roger's comment on the creature, it just goes to show how diverse ancient mammals are, that we can just imagine some bizarre critter and later find something just like it. Now, Scrat's moveset could be absolutely nuts, and probably literally too. These can range from attacking random opponents multiple times, to countering tough guys, to even attacking with acorn projectiles. Scrat could even have support effects that raise its teammates' attack and accuracy stats, and lower the other two stats slightly. Being a little guy does mean he could have low LP too, though his high speed could help somewhat. Number 8. Paleoloxodon. Quite possibly the largest land mammal ever, and rivaled by Indricotherium, also known as Paraceratherium, Paleoloxodon could easily be a medium-sized mammal Vivosaur rather than small-sized. I mean, it's an elephant relative for crying out loud. Anyhow, with such size, the auto LP recovery ability could be just perfect for this Vivosaur, making it somewhat of a counterpart to Mammoth, and kind of like a Seismo of the mammal Vivosaurs. Unlike Mammoth, however, it could use this and the lack of elemental disadvantages to great advantage, if it could confuse the opponent, having an opposing Vivosaur likely inflict damage on itself or its allies, while Paleolox heals itself up. Kind of broken, yes. If in the support zone though, it could lower the attack zone allies' stats somewhat. As such, planning ahead is advised. Number 7. Sdemenosuchus. A mammalian Vivosaur with a name that means crowned crocodile? Or was it a mammal-like reptile? Or reptile-like mammal? Jeez, this classification topic is confusing. Regardless, the name's meaning is fitting, and I think we need more of these kinds of Vivosaurs. Sdemo here could be kind of like a hippo Vivosaur, being rather fast for its size while inflicting critical damage often, likely with its crowned head, or maybe its jaws. In any case, I think it could have a design like so, but with sharp crocodilian teeth to give it an intimidating appearance. Anyway, Sdemo could also have a unique skill amongst other mammal-like reptile Vivosaurs that inflicts random effects with its mesmerizing head ornamentation. As a team skill? Maybe. Number 6. Regaliceratops. A ceratopod dinosaur with an equally regal name? Yes, please. Regaliceratops could be a counterpart to Penta, except it would confuse an opponent with its likely colorful and regal-looking neck frill instead of healing its allies. Like other ceratopods and other horned Vivosaurs, It should come equipped with a parting blow ability for when its health is low. As for this particular picture, it could have a Native American design to it, much like Urator, with appropriate attack names to match, such as Cherokee Charge. You get the idea. It could basically be the Digadig tribe front Vivosaur as well, which would be pretty cool too. Number 5. Borealis Pelton. Certainly a Vivosaur with a naturally good name, Borealis Pelton could definitely be based off the Aurora Borealis, which it could use to raise the defense stat to a somewhat greater degree than the normal Hardened move. It could also use Auroras to attack the entire opposing Vivosaur team, without fear of being countered too. Maybe it could also use its Aurora powers to use its own LP to heal that of the other teammates should it be necessary. A cool Vivosaur with a captivating moveset, if I do say so myself, no? Number 4. Cosmoceratops. Sure, Regaliceratops and Borealis Pelton are definitely good picks, but what happens if you put the two design ideas together? You'd probably get Cosmoceratops, who would look like it might have been put together with the previous two picks of this list. However, Cosmo could differ from those two by having an aggressive beatdown style instead, given that it has the most horns out of all other ceratopids, even more than Styraco. That could mean that instead of parting blow, it could have the auto counter ability for striking back, in addition to having a high attack stat relative to other ceratopids. Its team skill attack? A rain of colorful meteors from space. However, it could also have a relatively low defense stat, for balance reasons. Number 3. Nanooksaurus. Ah yes, the polar bear reptile, and a tyrannosaur relative of that too. Now, it's common knowledge that grizzly bears are among the most dangerous bears alive today, but polar bears aren't far behind. I believe that Nanooksaurus, therefore, could be a furry kind of dinosaur that has a defense stat that gives that of Daspleto a run for its money. Not to mention a high attack stat worthy of any northern tyrant. Now, some might think that with icy techniques of sorts, it should be water type, but I think Cryo already kind of fits that role. Anyway, Nanooksaurus should also be equipped with a high critical rate in order to take advantage of its lack of elemental weaknesses. Therefore, my advice would be to hit him hard, and hit him fast.
But he that strikes the king must strike to kill, or pay the price.
Number 2. Skeletosaurus. This Vivosaur could take transformation to a whole new level, even more so than that of Betricera. Now, it is believed among the scientific community that Skeletosaurus is the ancestor of both Stegosaurs and Ankylosaurs. Talk about branching out. Anyway, with that in mind, I imagine Skeleto having a transformation skill called something like Random Branch Out, where it can transform into any random Stegosaur or Ankylosaur Vivosaur, regardless of elemental matchups. Keep in mind, however, that as with other transformation Vivosaurs, even if Skeleto was equipped with a miraculous fossil, it cannot transform into their respective super evolved forms when it transforms, though that is fair, to be honest. Now, before you introduce my top pick, here are some honorable mentions. Number 1. Thanatothorestes Dergotorum, also known as the Reaper of Death. A mouthful? Yes, quite. Whether being on the number 1 spot of this list? Absolutely. Part of this dinosaur's jaw and teeth were discovered by a couple in Canada, the DeGroots, along the shores of a Canadian river. Now, with a scientific name that essentially means Death Harvester, it really shouldn't be surprising that a Tyrannosaurid would top this list. I mean, Thanatorum could basically be a crypto on steroids, with a cloak and bones design that is almost the same level of edginess as the aesthetics of Zonga Zonga. And similar to Tophus and Dunkel, he could be equipped with a one-hit KO move called something like Reaper's Wrath, which increases its chance of hitting if he is the last one standing. If that's not a little overpowered, I have little idea what is. Now you may have noticed that I was calling it Thanatorum. Well, I did consider Thanos for the name, but Nintendo would probably get a copyright strike from Disney and Marvel, but you get the idea. These reasons are why Thanatothorestes, the Reaper of Death, is number 1 on this list. Now, for secret number 11, we have Zhucheng Tyrannus, an Asian tyrannosaur that's definitely to be considered for a future Fossil Fighters game. Do you agree with my picks? Can you think of any other creatures that would be great neutral type Vivosaurs? Be sure to like and subscribe for more videos by Steven Bereznicki, albeit mostly music related videos, and have yourselves a great day. Alrighty, be safe, and I'll see you guys later.